Today, gentlemen, I've been honored to coach you. More honored to take you into the field of battle. But there's another honor that's been bestowed upon you. And that is the mantle that comes with that question. Who am I? I am a champion! That's right.
Alright guys, so I plan on dropping this video after the pre-snap read video so I can showcase to you how we utilize that understanding of pre-snap reading to attack defenses. So let's just get right into it, because this video might be a little too long for my liking, so I don't want to ramble off. So this is the first play of the game, and this is where, okay, again, pre-snap reading. So obviously 4-2 zone, 2-man, 0, and then we got 3-1, right? That's the core of pre-snap reading. Okay, so again, if we were pre-snap reading here, if he's telling the truth, right? That's the key statement. If he's telling the truth, 98% of the time they are, right? So if he's telling the truth, it's not cover 3 or cover 1. It's not 2 zone. Remember the pre-snap read for cover 2 zone. They're playing outside leverage about 5 yards off. It's not 2-man because they're not on the line of scrimmage, inside leverage. And then it's not cover 0 because this safety against this formation would be a little bit a line closer to his man. Okay, so the pre-snap read, if he's telling the truth, is cover 4. Now lo and behold, the very first play, he's actually not telling the truth. He picked like a cover 3 zone blitz, and it hid the pre-snap read here. Okay, so I'm just gonna play past this. You know, sometimes, well, not even sometimes, it's very few times that I get an opponent that does this the first play of the game, right? But again, so this is the second play. Once again, your first drive is to it's a scouting report. You know, you're trying to move the ball down the field. You do what you do. You work your bread and butter stuff. But for me, pre-snap reading, I'm getting a feel for what my opponent likes to do. And as I gather more information, as I move the ball, is where we just get better and better. And then we just exploit them. And that's what I did with this guy. So this was the second play. Again, 4-2-2-0, 3-1. If he's telling the truth, what is this? Well, it's not cover 3. It's not cover 1, right? So is it cover 4? No, right? Right away you can tell what it is. It's cover 2 zone, right? As we just stated, about 5 yards off, outside leverage. So right away we know this is cover 2 zone. So if he's telling the truth, right? So with that in mind, okay, this is where you get into like route combinations and etc. You can kind of figure out what you want to throw. Now this play is what I would deem 5-2-5 post. It's hopefully I dropped a video on that. I'm not going to get into detail what it is. Basically, it's a staple in Don Coryell, Air Coryell offense. And I'm going to hot route this guy to a comeback. And this guy should be a comeback. And then this guy should be on a swing route. And that would be your 5-2-5 post. Okay? And the read always, I watched a video on JT O'Sullivan, a former quarterback, when he was in a Mike Martz system. It was always a progression read. You would read 1 to backside comeback to swing. Okay, so on this particular play, it's not great against cover 2. If you look at this, I probably should have checked out, but I really felt like this drag could probably hold this guy, and I trusted that this guy would get inside leverage on this player, just cross his face, and then rocket it in the window there. So as far as route, okay, so I did do this, and I did get this guy on a comeback. ID is the mic for pass protection. I have a video on that, obviously. So right here, I'm throwing it already, as you can see, right? I don't know what the user was doing here. So, we're hoping this guy crosses face. He does. Look how we put it inside. And he just drops the ball. So I could have hot route to a better, and as we see, it was cover 2, to a better cover 2 beater. But that's okay. So, okay, again, 422031. What is this if he's telling the truth? It's not cover 3 or cover 1. It's not 4 zone. It's not cover 0. It's not 2-man. I mean, this is 2 zone, right? So we see double high. That's how we know it's on the double high side, which is 4220. And then we see the corners about 5 yards off. Outside leverage, cover 2 zone. So do we have something to attack that? Yes, we do. So one of the weaknesses of cover 2 zone, I think I'm going to hot route my tight end. Okay, this guy. So I should have hot routed this guy, but that's fine. Is you got 2 deep half safeties, and we want to overload these 2 safeties. So we get a 3-on-2 deal here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So essentially what you want to do is you want to pick a side, right? Because on this side, so this is why I should have had this guy going up the field, right? So I could get a 2-on-1 deal here, because it's not, this guy really isn't threatening this safety. But let me just keep going with it because I don't want this video to be too long. 3rd and 12. And right there, you see how we throwing outside shoulder ball on this little hole shot here. All right, and it was cover 2 sink. Next play, what is this? Okay, again, 4, 2 zone, 2-man, 0. I'm not gonna write this every time, guys. Just maybe one more time and that's it. And then 3-1. If he's telling the truth, what is this? Well, it's not cover 3 or cover 1. Okay? It's not 2 zone because of the corner depth. It's not 2-man because of the corner depth. And it's not cover 4. It's cover 0. It's cover 0, as I stated earlier. 4 and 0 can be hard to differentiate, but with this safety further over, to be over this receiver, that's how you know it's cover 0, right? So I think the biggest thing in attacking cover 0 is knowing when it's cover 0, pre-snap. That's step number 1, and I think that's probably where a lot of people struggle in beating cover 0. There are multiple ways to destroy cover 0. Now I'll just make another video on that so I don't go off the rails. So that play is not good, so I check out. And that's the play I'm rolling with. Okay, if I keep the mic here, then we're going to get a 3-man slide here. You guys are responsible for these guys, which big on big, which makes this guy he's the Q. He's what would be our hot. In other words, you know, if this guy were to come on a rush to the quarterback, he is unaccounted for. He's going to get a free path to the quarterback. So what does that mean? That means you need to get rid of the ball before he gets to the quarterback. That's what throwing hot is. And I'll have a video on that as well. Dude, it's just so much stuff to drop. So hopefully I'm on it, guys. I have been on it with the videos. I probably have like 15 videos already made, but I just don't like the quality and how it uploads, you know? And that's what's been stopping me. So I've just gotten to the point where I may just upload them anyways, and we'll just go from there. So start the ball. Okay, right away. I wanted to pause it, but I missed it. Okay, hot is coming. Everyone else, it should get picked up. Look at this 3-man slide because we identified the mic on this side. They're going to slide to the mic. So this is our half slide this way. Back big on big this way. This is the hot right here. Post snap, the second I snap the ball and I'm looking at this guy, then you know if he's coming, I got to get rid of the ball, right? And I have my slant route over here off coverage. Look at that. Ball's gone before the free rusher gets to the quarterback. Look where we put the ball. Inside for our slant. Let's go. Okay, what's the pre-snap read? Cover 0. He checks out. Guys, the biggest thing to stopping cover 0 is to hurt cover 0, right? Like, so I'm telling you, you run into that guy who's running cover 0 and you just punish him for it. You know, if he's not a stubborn guy, he's just going to check out, right? So, I watched a video of Peyton Manning during his '04 season where he was playing in, I think he threw 48 touchdowns that year, which was the then record setting. No, it was 49. And there was a game against the Packers where they wanted to be this supreme heavy blitz team. And, the upcoming week, they were about to play Peyton Manning, and if I recall correctly, one of the coaches were like, "We don't care if it's Peyton Manning. We don't care that he's killing the league this year. We're still gonna blitz him because that's what we do." And Peyton Manning threw the ball 20 straight times. They didn't run it at all. The first 20 plays of the Colts were throwing plays, and he was just destroying them. I think he had 5 touchdown passes in the first half. Okay, you beat the blitz by throwing the ball. You don't beat it any other way. You almost have to throw it, but it's so easy to exploit. So hopefully I'll drop a video on that. I'm already going off the rails. So what's the pre-snap read here? Well, it's cover 3 or cover 1. If he's telling the truth, we got single high. Now there is a way to differentiate between 3 zone and cover 1 man. You don't necessarily have to, because a lot of the same strengths and weaknesses of cover 3 are shared with cover 1. So if there's like a concept that beats, so I have a concept here that beats both, which is basically what I'm getting at. But you can tell whether it's cover 3 or cover 1 man. There's a way to differentiate. Maybe I won't go into detail here. Okay, so we're running the dragon concept on this side of the field. I believe by the time I drop this video, I will have the dragon concept up. So if you don't know what that is, I'll leave a link so you can go check it out. Extremely good against single high. And then we're running like a stick concept on this side of the field, which is also extremely good against single high, right? So I should read the second defender in. Notice how he drops into the window of the slant, so you throw the flat. Six yards. And what do you know? Cover 3 sky. Okay? He's telling the truth. It's cover 3 or cover 1. And then he checks. So he either checked into a different play, or he did some base align from cover 3. And that's what he did. You can really tell because of, look at this alignment of this corner right here. This is awful, right? I had a game, and the Madden is really kind of coded pretty badly in attacking this corner. So theoretically, in the league, if a guy sat inside as the corner like this against an NFL offense, if I were to show this alignment to your average NFL quarterback and ask them, what would you do to attack something like this? I guarantee you, like, all of them would say outside shoulder ball, outside receiver. He's just out leveraged to the outside with this alignment. This alignment is horrible. But Madden is coded in a way in which this guy is able to recover in such an unrealistic way from his alignment, which really pisses me off, because the football in you, when you see this, you will try to throw outside shoulder go pattern like almost every time. I had a game where I threw like 3 interceptions to a guy like this because my opponent kept doing this, and I just refused to. I'm just stubborn because I just know it should work, right? So maybe I got to go to the practice field and see if there's a way where I can throw it open, right? But I did it here too. Like I can't get away from it. I just can't, right? So let's go ahead and watch it. There's my route. Outside shoulder. We get our touchdown. And he was in cover 3 hard flat. So, okay, next drive. Okay, guys, what's the pre-snap read here? 4-2-2-0-3-1. It's not 3 or 1 because it's double high. It's not cover 4 zone. It's not 2 zone. It's 2 man. How do we know it's 2 man? Look at the corners. You see how they're on the line of scrimmage, inside leverage? That's how we know it's 2 man. Do we have something to beat 2 man here? See, this is where you get into, I think a lot of the reason why guys aren't running like football passing concepts in the game is because they don't really know what defense is being thrown at them, right? How do I know that dragon concept should be ran against something if I don't know it's, cover 3 or cover 1, right? How do I know I can run you know, the lion concept if I don't know it's cover two zone, that sort of thing. So that's why you get guys doing wonky stuff where they're just running, you know, slant, 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 cross, slant, mesh, slant, slant, slant. You know what I mean? They're not running passing concepts because they don't know what defense their opponent is running. So this is two man. Forgot what I did here. I think I motioned the back out there. So that's what I love, empty sets. Okay, and I think I ran the dragon concept. Let's see. I did. Look how I get so close to the clock and I'm just so comfortable with running it. Okay, in the dragon concept video, the dragon concept is excellent against single high. It's not something you want to run against double high, like cover two zone. But, however, in Madden, it's excellent against two man. And the reason why is because, you know, it's actually not great here. Because if he's on the line of scrimmage and they're both pressing, then you get a nice little rub action when you run the pattern. And the slant just gets wide open. Because in two man, these defenders want to take away the inside and they want to play underneath trail technique. So if your receiver can take that away and still take inside, then you can just gash the defense because they have no help inside. That's why they play underneath trail technique. Okay, so I should have noticed this when I did this. I should have noticed that this guy is not really pressing, so he's like playing a little bit off. And they do that so they don't run into one another if we run like switch routes, which is very interesting. But, you know, I trust my receiver to just get inside leverage on the slant. Snap the ball. And we still got rub action there. That's why I just love the dragon concept. You see how he's really kind of not open? I'm still throwing a slant no matter what. I just trust my receiver to just get the space needed. And then that nice little rub. Now look at how he has inside leverage, right? So go watch my video on the dragon concept. I mean, that concept is deadly. Next play. Okay, what's the pre-snap read? Cover two man. He checks out. Okay, what is this? 4-2-2-0-3-1. This is cover two zone, right? So, I mean, look how we just know exactly what he's running. And I think I checked in the 4 verticals. I did. So, again, I think I hot route one of these guys. Let's see. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. Watch this. Okay. So, again, one of the ways you can attack cover 2 zone is 3-on-2 deep down the field, right? Because we got 1, 2, 3 against 2 defenders, right? And then you just pick a side because we can get a 2-on-1 deal on this safety, or we can get a 2-on-1 deal with this safety. So you can kind of just cut this off and pick a side you want to work, okay? But what I did over here, which I probably will start doing from this point forward, is I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to work this side, but why not turn this guy into a deep comeback pattern and then have this flat here? So now you put a 2-on-1 deal high-low on this corner while he's still threatening deep upfield with that outside release, holding this safety, right? So if we did have like a deep post pattern, we can still work the 2-on-1 deal here with this safety, right? So to me, this is the first time I did it. I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm thinking now I'm probably going to do it all the time when I see 2 zone. And the reason why this is good here is because if for some odd reason post snap they don't play 2 zone and they rotate into like single high, so you know you're playing against a savvy opponent who's disguising coverage or whatever. It's hard to disguise coverage in this game when the corners are aligned like this, but it's neither here nor there. And this guy's like a deep third and you got a curl flat. Well, now we can work, because this wouldn't work anymore. You would have you know, you might press him and get him to go inside, release, whatever, right? Now you get a 2-on-1 deal on the curl flat, right? Because he's threatening the deep third safety and he's going to come back. And then this curl to flat player has to decide to get in the window of that comeback pattern or to drive on the flat pattern, right? So, snap the ball, outside shoulder. And you see, I barely missed, right? So that was just an overthrow. But, don't concern yourself with the results of a play. You concern yourself with were you right? Was that the right throw? And that was. So if I get better with free form completion with the free form, I mean, that's a 15, 20 yard gain, right? So your opponent, when that happens, may be like, okay, I got him. He didn't know what to do, but he doesn't know that I knew exactly where to go. I was attacking the exact spot where he was weak, and he's actually getting crushed right now, and he doesn't even know it, right? So, okay, what is this? 422031. Looking at this could be cover 4 or cover 0. It looks kind of weird. So in situations like this where I may be a little bit concerned and I can run it, I tend to run as a crutch, So that was cover 1 robber. So look, we take note of that. Remember in the pre-snap read video, 422031, there are ways where you can disguise coverage, and one of them was to select certain plays that disguises coverage, right? So cover 1 robber was one of them. Cover 3 buzz was another one. Trying to think of another one. Can't think of them now. So I keep note of that, right? When I see a cover 4 shell, be on the lookout for cover 1 robber, right? But did we lose on that play? No, because I ran it. Let's go back. I know I'm annoying. Because, okay, I just had a bad feeling. That's why I went with this, because I'm like, is this cover 4 or cover 0? It's neither here nor there. How about I just run it against this soft box? Running isn't about running against cover 1, run against cover 4. If you see someone say, hey, when you see cover 3, this is the type of run you run and all that, I tend to think more so that running is all about, box fits and how many you're dealing with in the box, what type of run. So like this particular run, I think this is inside zone. You just look at the box, and because you know how the blocking should be, you just know that, well, this is a good run against whatever it is that he's doing. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Based upon the leverage of the box, we can get double team here, pin off, and you get him. I mean, this is, I wonder if that's the play. Yeah, see, look, double team, and I want to peel off. Well, not a one. I mean, that's just what it is, inside zone, right? And we get 8 yards. So we keep note of that. Cover 1 robber. Okay, what's the pre-snap read here? Okay, so this is a tricky one, right? So I can't remember what this was. So 4-2-2 zone, 3-1, right? Well, if he's telling the truth, remember, he's not obligated to. The defense is never obligated to tell you what they're running, right? If he's telling the truth, it's not single high, it's double high. It's not cover 4 zone, it's not cover 0, and it's not 2 zone, right? But the kicker is, it's not 2-man either. And that's what tipped me off to know that this may be like some type of disguised coverage. Why? Because in 2-man, remember, they're playing inside leverage, and it looks kind of wonky here, right? So this is what kept me off. I was thinking, is this cover 1 robber, right? Because he just recently ran it. So again, not sure. A lot of times when guys are disguising coverage, the box is soft, right? It's harder to disguise coverage from a single high defense alignment as opposed to a double high, which is why a lot of times when guys are trying to disguise coverage, I can out leverage them, or I decide to run it as I did here. So let's go ahead and run it. And then I stop no huddling when that happens, because I always want to know. And there it was, cover 1 robber press. It's one of the benefits of playing cover 1 robber. It disguises the single high element of the defense. However, if you get a little bit more savvy in pre-snap reading, you can still sniff it out, right? So look, there's that cover 4 shell again, but we keep note, he does play cover 1 robber from this particular, oh wait, no, never mind. I'm way ahead of myself. You see this corner here? 5 yards off. What is that? Well, that's some type of cloud flat if he's telling the truth, right? So this could be cover 6. Okay, and that was another one that you can remember. Cover three cloud is another one that, yeah, you know, you have a corner 5 yards off and you have this guy off. So it's not really a disguise, but it looks eerily similar to cover six, right? So that's one coverage you can pick. So this is cover three cloud or cover six. If he's telling the truth, right? So I forgot what I did here. Checking the four verticals. This guy, knowing if it's cover six, it's 1-on-1 over here, and then up the field 2-on-1 on this safety. However, if it's cover three cloud, we got four verts against 3D safeties, right? And we can just work 2-on-1 deal here, or the 2-on-1 inside, 3-on-2 inside, etc. Let's just snap it. This guy did not get hands on this tight end, so now he gets a free release on this safety. I believe that's where I threw it. Look how I threw it inside to throw him into the window. And we score. So it was cover 9. Let's go back. Cover 9 is the opposite of cover 6. It's just they flips to the weak side of the formation. Weak or strong. Neither here nor there. What is this? 4-2-2-0-3-1. This is cover 2 man. And after a while, I mean, right away, you won't even be you just, as you're walking to the line of scrimmage, 2 man, right? Because I do this every single play. It's just ingrained in my head. So, one of the weaknesses of 2 man, 2 deep half safeties, these guys are man to man, is the box, right? One of the strengths of cover 1 is you get an extra defender in the box, so you can have more men than what we can account for in the box. But one of the weaknesses of cover 2 man is the opposite of that. You know, we get 6-on-6, right? And I would argue that in certain runs, it's actually 6 versus 4 at the point of attack, which transitions into 6-on-6. So you can just get wrecked in the box. So I checked in the inside zone, and I know the blocking of inside zone. Should step play side, double team, peel off, get him, right? And this is what I mean by 6-on-4 at the point of attack, because these guys aren't flowing downhill right away in most cases, unless they're blitzing, right? So we can get our double teams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blocking 1, 2, 3, 4. And then as we travel up the hole, these guys transition off and peel off to get these backers, and then it's a true 6-on-6. So these guys just get pummeled at the point of attack because you're double team, right? Clear? Look at the double teams. So obviously I'll drop a video on inside zone, hopefully. Inside zone split, counter, you know, buck sweep and all that type of stuff. Peel off, get him. And now we're just 1-on-1 with the safety. And our opponent obviously didn't feel comfortable. And we score. So this video is probably pretty long. Maybe I should get out of it. So anyways, we see single high. And then it looks like he rotates out into some type of base align. But I mean, a lot of things, one thing you can do is, if you see a leverage issue, you can just abandon everything and attack that problem. And that problem is there's no cover down on this slot receiver. So I'll just check out of whatever I'm doing, get him to a flat, and just immediately throw it to him, right? And we can just key this defender. If he jumps the flat, then we have him outside with the full hole shot. So I snap the ball and just immediately get it out. This is what I hate about Madden. So maybe I got to practice and lap this. I hate how the ball is thrown in a way in which this receiver feels the need to do this little spin around dance, which allows this guy to catch up and make a tackle. Had we have thrown him in rhythm to where he just turns with his left shoulder towards the line of scrimmage, to where his head turns like to the right, and just catches the ball in stride and then turns up field, I mean, we can get a lot more yardage here. So I think that's something I got to practice. Hopefully the animation that I'm speaking of is in the game. And I think it is too, because I ran Dragon Concept against somebody earlier today, I think it was. And the second defender in was late on the flat. So I threw the flat and he caught it without that spin animation. He just caught it in stride and I was able to score. Little things like that, you know what I mean? So I got to practice and lab that. Okay, so we'll just go through this. I was a little skeptical about this because of the front here. So I was thinking, is this cover one robber or some type of cover one again, disguised as cover four? And he ran this the play before. So pre-snap read of this, cover four, if he's telling the truth. I was a little skeptical because every time I see this particular alignment pre-snap, it ends up being cover one robber, right? So I went on a limb and I went ahead and just ran the play anyways. I got to stop doing this. I can't, you know what I mean? I like to know, right? And it was, to my surprise, it was actually cover four. So now that's in the mental. All right, so let's get to the next play. I got to shorten this, man, because it's going to be way too long. And just go ahead and roll with this play. If you look at this, word to the wise, if you see corner off and corner on, double high, you know, it can be some type of wonky coverage, right? Cover six, cover three cloud, right? So where this guy clouds, and obviously he has help over the top, right? Or cover six. So, yeah, that's one thing I noticed with cover three cloud and cover six. They look the same pre-snap. So, you know, the other day I'm like, you know what? Why don't I play those two coverages and just interchange them? Where I play one and I play the other, and I just play with my opponent's head, and it was actually pretty decent, you know. So maybe I should start doing that more. So, you know, you always keep a note when you see that alignment, maybe cover three cloud, right? So you just keep that. So again, cover three cloud is something that, one of the coverages where it can throw you off with pre-snap reading. So you have to be aware of that. So I remember this. This is another. So he began picking plays to kind of throw you off, because if he's telling the truth, this is some type of cover four. So this is okay. It makes sense why I went with this play, because I'm running the levels concept to attack double high, right? If it's cover two zone, cover four, that type of deal. But when I snap the ball and I see a rotation like that with the safety from the corner of my eye, I'm running like a flat post here. I wanted to throw this post, and I did throw it, and you see how I freeform passed horribly, which is why this was an incompletion. The safety was more so on this hash. This is an interception. I got bailed out from the strength of the passing formation being on this side, which is probably why the safety was more so on this hash. But this is a horrible ball. But again, when you look at stuff like this, I'm not mad, because I know that I made the right read post snap. I just threw a bad pass. Right here, when he audibles into this, I know it's cover zero. That's the pre-snap read, right? Double high look, these two safeties, and then the safety is buzzed over the wide receiver. Off. I know this is cover zero. And I remember this because I was on the mic and I told him, like, dude, why are you doing this to yourself? So I scared him by saying that, because I think I, you know, punished him for playing cover zero before, and once he saw me check, then he checked out. So it was a little, you know, poking fun at him, like, yeah, you know what it is, man, you know. So again, that you can scare people from cover zero as long as you punish them when they're in it, right? So what is this? This is cover two zone. It's one of the benefits of a no-huddle offense. you're forced to, you don't have the entire playbook at your disposal on the defensive side of the ball. We dictate to you, hey, do you want to stay in that core play that you originally picked at the play call screen? If not, then you got to check out into a stock coverage, right? So what is this? Cover 2 zone. So how can we attack this? I figured I can get a 2-on-1 deal with the safety, right? Hopefully the post will hold him, and we got that hole shot. But if he overplays to the hole shot, then we can throw the post, right? Snap the ball. Okay, you see how this post drives him in? Look at that throw, right? Watch the safety. Getting to his landmark, lightening, getting depth. And then this was like the route he took. And then he goes this way, right? Why? Because the post is a threat, right? That's how that's how you defeat spot drop zone coverages or zone coverages in general. You overload certain zones, right? So this overload forced him to want to honor that post route, which opens up more space for our hole shot. And then we have a player going to the flat as well to kind of threaten this corner so he doesn't ride upfield and get in the window of this thing. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I talked too much. And hopefully you stick around for more content. Be on the lookout for, I believe what I'm going to do is, I believe I'm going to drop a defensive ebook and an offensive ebook, but I'm going to do it in a YouTube subscription model where you subscribe to my channel. I think it's like it'll be like a small fee every month where you'll have access to all of that stuff. And obviously I'm going to drop a whole bunch of videos if I do it. I'm not going to drop just like bare bones stuff, right? So we can get into detail about split field coverages. I've learned how to kind of blitz from a too high shell. So like a lot of guys, what they're doing. So let me go back. So this is cover 0, right? So maybe he's coming and he's coming, but I know it's cover 0. That's what I know. So what cover 0 is, you're just overloading the offense, right? You're blitzing and you're playing man-to-man on the back end of the coverage, right? So what's the strength of that? The strength is, if we're blocking 5, you can bring 6. 5 can't block 6. 5 can only block 5. So that 6th defender comes in scot-free, right? I believe that was in one of the plays earlier where I threw a slant and I had to ID somebody as being the hot, right? I had to get rid of the ball before that free defender got to the quarterback, right? So if you block 6, if we decide to block 6 to respond to that, well, the defense can still block 7. So for example, if we take this tight end and we're sick of getting 6 coming at the quarterback, we can use him as an extra blocker to block that 6. Well, what can the defense do? Well, the guy who was man-to-man with him can replace him and blitz now. So now they're bringing 7 and we're blocking 6. So they still get a free defender, right? Theoretically, the offense can block 10 if they wanted to. You'll never see it, but it's just on theory, right? If we block 10, we block all of these guys for the quarterback, they can still bring that 11th guy and have a free rusher. The defense can always bring more than what we can block, and the reason for that is because the quarterback can't block for himself, right? That's what cover 0 is. That's what I noticed with a lot of guys. They have these strategy videos of new nano blitz, unstoppable blitz, blah, blah, blah. That's the title that they roll with. And then you go and check out their video just to see what they're talking about, and they're just picking a cover 0 blitz play. That's what it is. That's what cover 0 does. It's not some nano... It's not something, it's been from the dawn of time. That's what cover 0 is. You're bringing a free rusher. Or they'll pick cover 1 and they'll blitz the robber and bring the safety down and use him as a blitz. Well, you just took cover 1 and converted it into cover 0. It's the same thing, right? So the idea of blitzing, you're trying to rush the quarterback, but that's not the optimal way to blitz, okay? Because the weakness of blitzing with cover zero is everyone else is man to man, no help, right? So it's, it's easy to attack that in the passing game. So ideally, when you rush the quarterback, what you want to do is you want to bring the maximum amount of pressure while sacrificing the least amount of coverage, right? So what do I mean by that? Well, what if we can get a free rusher at the quarterback, but only bring 5 when doing it? You know what I mean? So the offense has 5 to block 5, but we somehow created a way in which we can get someone scot-free by attacking the offensive line protection in a way in which we exploit the slide or etc. That's where you want to be, because you're bringing the same amount of pressure of cover zero by bringing someone scot-free, but you added an extra defender in coverage. So you can almost play cover 1 on the back end, bring 5, get a free rusher, and you're still stout in the defensive side of the ball, right? And there's a lot to go with that, because when in cover zero, this guy is one-on-one with this guy. He has no help anywhere, as opposed to if we bring 5 and he gets the same amount of pressure awarded to him by the blitz, but he can play in a way in which he can play to his help. Maybe he has a robber over the middle and he knows we're going to get free pressure. You can play a certain leverage where now I'm playing outside leverage on this particular defender. I'm able to drive on out routes, play corner routes better, knowing that I have help inside and the ball's got to come out quick. That's where you want to be. So, man, I go off the rails a lot. This is pretty bad. But anyways, I've found ways to where I stay in a split field coverage, but I'm still able to bring 5 at the quarterback and get a free rusher. And it's done wonders for my defense. So obviously I'm going to have defensive ebooks about split field coverage, bringing a blitz from 2 high shell looks, all types of stuff, guys. So hopefully that's where I get to. Hope you enjoyed the content, man. Peace.